Shut up. How are you doing? With all the Christmas bullshit, I mean. Does it feel any different this year? How about compared to 5 years ago? Or 10 years ago? If you grew up in a culture where Christmas is a big deal, it leaves its mark. Even if you feel fairly indifferent to it, like I do, I'll bet you still feel those tiny little sparks of nostalgia from time to time. One of my favourite stories is Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, and the older I get, the more meaning it holds. Not because I'm turning into a grumpy old miser, but because the story reveals what Christmas does to us. It's like a pin in the calendar reminding us of where we are, who we are, and where we might be heading. We might not see ourselves in Scrooge directly, but the story taps into something universal. We all get visited by ghosts of the past, present, and future. It's like your very own cocktail of nostalgia, anxiety, and existential dread. If Christmas genuinely brings you joy, if you love traditions, if you're making magic for your kids, or finding real meaning in it, then brilliant. Keep doing that. I'm not here to ruin anyone's festivities. But if Christmas feels complicated, or heavy, or just exhausting, this one's for you. So pull up a chair and let's take a look at these ghosts. The ghost of Christmas past takes you back to what was, whether you want to go there or not. Maybe it shows up as nostalgia, that small ache in your chest when you remember white Christmases from childhood, that one perfect year when everything was just right, the way Christmas used to feel before the sparkle wore off. Or maybe it's nostalgia for a childhood you didn't have. If your family couldn't give you that warm, loving, magical Christmas, maybe that's something you've been quietly grieving for years. And speaking of grief, maybe the ghost of Christmas past slips quietly into the empty chairs, reminding you of people who aren't here anymore, loved ones who've died, relationships that ended, the family you imagined you'd have, but life took another turn. Or maybe it brings you face to face with earlier versions of yourself, the kid who believed in magic, the young adult who still believed in love and had big dreams, the person you were before life wore you down. So what's really happening here? Christmas amplifies loss because the whole thing is built on tradition, memory, and family history. The whole thing is a ritual designed to try and capture some long-lost golden time that may or may not have existed. It puts the past right up against the present, and the gap between what was and what is can feel too much to bear at this time of year. So how do we deal with this? The thing is, you can't fight this ghost. It needs to be heard, because this is a ghost that gets louder when it's ignored. So let it in, briefly. Let it say what it came to say. Sit with the discomfort for a bit. You don't have to love it or understand it, but giving it space stops it from taking over the whole house. Do that and the ghost will leave. It just wants you to have a cup of tea and hold its hand for a bit first. So if Christmas past tugs you backwards, the ghost of Christmas present drops you right into the chaos of now. The weeks leading up to the big day, the hours before the big family dinner, the noise and pressure and expectations, the Brussels sprouts and the acid reflux. This ghost is loud like a poltergeist. It barges in without knocking, waving a to-do list in your face. And it probably shows up as anxiety, the dread of family gatherings, navigating difficult personalities, worrying someone's going to say something tactless or do something weird. Maybe it's overwhelm. The mental load of cooking and shopping and decorating and performing cheerfulness, keeping everyone else's spirits up when yours isn't. Or maybe it's comparison, scrolling through everyone else's curated Christmas and suddenly feeling like yours is very ordinary. And underneath, that little snarky voice whispering, "You're not doing enough, you're not being enough." So what's actually happening here? The ghost of Christmas present feeds on pressure. Social, financial, emotional. It thrives on the idea that Christmas must be bigger, brighter, warmer, and happier than real life. And the funny thing is, poll after poll shows most people are exhausted by Christmas. Most people think it's too commercialised. Most people would rather have a quiet one, in their pyjamas, eating whatever they want, talking to as few people as possible. So this ghost isn't really about Christmas. It's about the pressure to perform a version of yourself you don't like being. And it calms down the moment you stop performing for it. So let your Christmas be ordinary. Let it be quiet if it needs to be. Let it be simple. Do you remember when Christmas was about kindness and charity and spending time with the few people on the planet you'd actually take a bullet for? Let it be that, if that's all you want it to be. You don't have to go to every gathering, you don't have to buy gifts you can't afford, and you don't have to perform festive if you're not feeling it. The present moment becomes a lot kinder when you stop trying to make it perfect. Now let's talk about the ghost of Christmas future. For the last several years, I've had the same weird little question pop into my head at this time of year. How many more times am I going to have to hear that bloody Slade song before I die? 100? 1,000? I mean, technically there's a measurable answer. Maybe I should keep a tally and ask someone to announce it at my funeral. I suppose what I'm trying to say is, you can only do so many Christmases before the whole thing just becomes another boring, predictable routine. And sometimes, for me anyway, that mundanity catapults my mind into the future. And in the words of Peggy Lee, you think, is this it? Is this all there is? So the ghost of Christmases yet to come is very existential, like an end-of-year reckoning. It reminds you that time is moving, whether you're ready or not. Another Christmas, another year gone, and what do you have to show for it? What's changed? What hasn't changed? What will the next one be like? It's like it's holding hands with the ghost of Christmas past to show you the gap between who you thought you'd be, who you actually are, and who you might become. Maybe you thought you'd be married by now, have kids, be rich, successful, happy, settled, sorted, and maybe you're not. Maybe you wonder if there's still time to achieve your dreams. And before you know it, the ghost of Christmas present returns, showing up through awkward questions at the family dinner table. You can be surrounded by people at Christmas and still feel profoundly lonely because you're not where you thought you'd be or who you thought you'd be, and you're possibly not on track to be that person by next Christmas either. But let's reframe this. Remember in the story A Christmas Carol, the ghost of Christmas future doesn't show Scrooge what will happen, it shows him what might happen if nothing changes. So the ghost of Christmas future shows you the trajectory you're currently on and quietly asks if you want to keep going that way or whether something needs to shift. And that's not doom, that's possibility. And remember, small habits can lead to big changes. There are some fantastic books available on short form that can help you with this, so you can get straight to the juicy bits and key ideas. Click the link in the description box to enjoy a 20% discount. It could make a nice little treat for you or someone you know. So which ghost visits you most at Christmas? You're very welcome to share in the comments if you want to. I think other people find it helpful to remember that we all have our versions of these ghosts that show up. And of course, feel free to share it with someone who might need it. Sometimes just knowing it's okay to not feel festive makes it easier to get through. And whatever you're up to over the next couple of weeks, I really hope they're good ones, whatever that means for you. Oh, and before I go, from the 1st of January, this channel's getting a new name. Tea Amid Chaos. Same me, same honest chat, just a name that reflects what I'm actually doing here. Okay folks, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.